What if I told you that aging, at least the visible kind, is not an unstoppable march of time, but a process that can be gently redirected, nudged, and even partially reversed? Many of us have been told that wrinkles, sagging skin, and low energy are inevitable companions of growing older. Yet the science of longevity suggests something far more hopeful. Our biology is not a passive clock. It is an orchestra of mechanisms, many of which respond to the inputs we provide daily, including, surprisingly, a handful of vitamins. Think about your skin, your energy, the subtle radiance in your eyes. These are not just cosmetic concerns. They are outward signals of cellular vitality, a reflection of the microscopic world within you. Cells communicate, repair, and regenerate, but over time, signals falter, oxidative stress accumulates, and repair pathways slow down. Yet research from labs at Harvard, Stanford, and the Buck Institute for Research on Aging shows that specific nutrients can modulate these pathways, almost like tuning the instruments of a symphony back into harmony. Vitamins are not just supplements, they are biochemical tools that speak to your cell's language, telling them to maintain structure, produce energy, and resist inflammation. Now, consider this. Studies from the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry and researchers like Dr. Bruce Ames have found that compounds such as vitamin C, vitamin D, and certain B-complex vitamins play critical roles in collagen synthesis, immune support, and mitochondrial efficiency, the very engines that power youthful appearance and vitality. What does this mean in practical terms? With the right support, your skin may regain firmness, your energy may stabilize, and your resilience against daily stressors may increase. Before we dive in, take 1 second to subscribe to my channel and tell me where are you watching from today. Imagine standing before a time-worn sculpture, its edges softened, its surface cracked. Now imagine having the ability to sand it gently, to restore its smoothness and strength, almost as if it remembers its original form. This is, in essence, what happens inside our cells when we provide them with the right support. And at the forefront of this process is one of the simplest yet most powerful molecules in nature, vitamin C. Vitamin C, or ascorbic acid, is far more than an immune booster we reach for during cold season. It is a master signal in the repair and regeneration of our tissues, particularly the skin. Studies from the Journal of Investigative Dermatology and Research, led by Dr. Mary L. Keene at the Linus Pauling Institute, have shown that vitamin C is indispensable for collagen synthesis. Collagen is the scaffolding that maintains our skin's structure and firmness. Without sufficient vitamin C, collagen fibers weaken and wrinkles and sagging emerge not merely as cosmetic changes, but as biological markers of slowed repair. Here is the fascinating part. Vitamin C also functions as a potent antioxidant, quenching free radicals that otherwise damage DNA, proteins, and lipids within our cells. It is as if each molecule carries a tiny shield, deflecting the daily assaults of oxidative stress that silently erode our vitality. In practical terms, when we nourish our cells with vitamin C, we are not just preventing damage, we are actively giving our cells instructions to maintain, repair, and even slightly rejuvenate themselves. But how does one harness this power most effectively? Research indicates that both systemic and topical delivery matter. Dietary sources rich in vitamin C, such as kiwi fruit, bell peppers, strawberries, and broccoli, provide the raw material our cells need. Yet studies published in Nutrients have also demonstrated that topical application can directly stimulate dermal collagen production, making it a dual-action strategy. Timing is another subtle but important factor. Providing vitamin C consistently, rather than in a single burst, allows tissues to maintain optimal levels, supporting continuous repair. Consider your daily routine: a morning smoothie with citrus or berries, a lunchtime salad with red peppers, and a nightly application of a vitamin C serum. Small, simple steps, yet each action reverberates at the cellular level. Have you noticed how your skin responds over a few weeks? Slight firmness, a more even tone, a subtle glow? These are not illusions. They are the visible reflections of biological processes regaining their rhythm. Vitamin C also reminds us of a larger truth. Our cells respond to signals, not just substances. The act of caring, preparing nutrient-rich meals, applying a serum with intention, prioritizing consistent self-care sends a biological message that the body interprets. This is a gentle but profound empowerment, the ability to influence our own aging trajectory through deliberate choices. As you integrate this insight, pause to reflect. What small, consistent signals are you giving your body each day? Are they aligned with vitality, repair, and resilience? Vitamin C teaches us that even molecules we once considered mundane can, in fact, serve as catalysts for profound cellular renewal. If this insight is helping you, consider subscribing There's More Where This Came From, and together we can explore how the smallest interventions ripple into the deepest layers of our biology. If vitamin C helps restore the scaffolding of our cells, B vitamins are the fuel that keeps our engines running. Within every cell, mitochondria operate like tiny power plants, converting the food we eat into ATP, the energy currency that drives every thought, every movement, every heartbeat. Yet as we age, these engines gradually lose efficiency. The result? Fatigue, brain fog, slower repair, and subtly the appearance of aging itself. Research from the University of Oxford and studies published in Nutrients reveal that B vitamins, including B1, thiamine, B2, riboflavin, B3, niacin, B6, pyridoxine, and B12, cobalamin, play essential roles in mitochondrial function. Each one is a cofactor in enzymatic reactions that transform carbohydrates, fats, and proteins into usable energy. Without them, the mitochondria sputter. Imagine a fleet of cars trying to run on low-quality fuel. The engines stall, the lights dim, and the journey slows. B vitamins ensure your cellular engines receive high-octane fuel, maintaining peak performance. The fascinating part is how energy influences appearance and vitality. Mitochondria are not just energy factories, they are signaling hubs. Healthy mitochondria release signals that regulate inflammation, support collagen formation, and even modulate circadian rhythms. In essence, keeping mitochondria thriving indirectly supports the visible hallmarks of youth-firm skin, bright eyes, and sustained vitality. Dr. Bruce Ames at UC Berkeley has highlighted the triage theory, suggesting that nutrient scarcity forces cells to prioritize short-term survival over long-term repair. B vitamins are crucial to preventing this triage mode, ensuring repair mechanisms remain active. So, how can we practically support mitochondrial vitality? First, dietary diversity is key. Eggs, salmon, leafy greens, nuts, legumes, and whole grains are rich in B vitamins. Supplementation can be valuable, particularly for B12, whose absorption decreases with age, and for B6 and B3, which are central to energy metabolism. Timing also matters. Taking B vitamins in the morning supports energy production throughout the day rather than late at night when stimulation may disrupt sleep. Consider a simple framework. A breakfast rich in B vitamin spinach omelet with a side of berries provides immediate fuel, while consistent supplementation ensures mitochondria have the cofactors they need. Over weeks, many people notice improved focus, steadier energy, and even more resilience against stressors that previously left them depleted. Here's a reflective question. Have you ever felt your energy dip sharply mid-afternoon only to be frustrated at your own body? That drop is often not a failure of willpower, but a reflection of cellular engines running low on cofactors. By providing your mitochondria with the nutrients they need, you are literally recharging yourself from the inside out. B vitamins also highlight an essential principle of human optimization. Energy is information. The signals your cells receive through nutrients, activity, and rest instruct them on how to function. By consistently fueling your cells, you reinforce the narrative that your body is meant to thrive, not merely survive. If this insight resonates with you, pause and take a moment. What small, actionable step can you implement tomorrow to fuel your cellular engines? A morning smoothie with fortified plant milk, a handful of nuts with breakfast, or a high-quality B complex supplement may be enough to start shifting your cellular landscape. Imagine a sculptor at work chiseling a block of marble. Now imagine that same sculptor working under a relentless windstorm. Grains of sand scratching at the surface, reshaping the sculpture in ways that were never intended. This is, in essence, what chronic inflammation does to our bodies and particularly to our skin. Minute, persistent, and often invisible inflammation gradually reshapes tissues, accelerates collagen breakdown, and signals our cells that repair is no longer the priority. The result is the silent march of aging, even in women who feel vibrant and active. Enter vitamin D, often referred to as the sunshine vitamin, but more accurately described as a hormone-like regulator of immune balance. Decades of research, including landmark studies by Dr. Michael Holick at Boston University and publications in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, have shown that vitamin D is a master controller of the immune system. It doesn't just support immunity, it fine-tunes it. Vitamin D modulates inflammatory responses, reducing the chronic low-grade inflammation that erodes tissues over time. In other words, it helps the sculptor work with precision, not under assault. Vitamin D's influence extends beyond immune cells. Skin cells themselves carry vitamin D receptors, and studies indicate that adequate vitamin D supports keratinocyte differentiation and epidermal repair. Collagen, elastin, and other structural proteins respond to this hormonal signal, meaning that your body's largest organ, your skin, is directly affected by your vitamin D status. This is why deficiency often shows as dullness, fine lines, and a slow recovery from minor skin damage. So, how can one harness this power? First, sunlight remains the most natural source. Brief, safe exposure, roughly 10 to 20 minutes of midday sun on arms and legs, several times per week, stimulates production in the skin. Yet many older adults or those living in northern latitudes require supplementation. Clinical studies suggest that doses of 1,000 to 2,000 IU per day can support immune modulation and tissue repair, though individual needs vary based on baseline levels. Pairing vitamin D intake with meals containing healthy fats enhances absorption, as it is fat-soluble and works best when integrated into the body's natural metabolic rhythms. Consider this practical reflection: a brief morning walk outside, a meal with salmon or fortified mushrooms, and a measured vitamin D supplement can collectively transform your cellular environment. It's not an overnight miracle in the dramatic sense, but it is a profound, cumulative adjustment in how your body orchestrates repair and resilience. Over time, tissues respond, inflammation diminishes, and the natural contours of your skin are better maintained. Here is a question to consider. How often do we focus on quiet, unseen processes, the molecular dialogues within our skin and immune cells, rather than just the visible results? By giving attention to these invisible signals, we shift from reactive care to proactive optimization. Vitamin D offers a perfect illustration, a simple molecule that guides your body to preserve structure, reduce chaos, and support vitality from the inside out. In practical terms, notice how small, intentional signals, a short walk, a nutrient-rich breakfast, a mindful supplement routine, can be translated into meaningful biological impact. Chronic inflammation need not dictate the sculpting of your future. With consistent vitamin D support, your cells are reminded of their natural blueprint, reinforcing repair, resilience, and the quiet elegance of youth. If you are finding this valuable, take a moment to like this video and share your experience. Your actions not only support your journey, but help this community of women and men who are exploring evidence-based ways to thrive in midlife and beyond. If the previous sections explored scaffolding, fuel, and the quiet work of inflammation, now let us step even deeper into the control room of life itself, your DNA. For decades, we thought of our genes as rigid scripts, predetermined and immutable. Yet modern science has unveiled a far more empowering truth. Genes are more like dynamic instruments capable of responding to environmental signals. Vitamins, it turns out, act as biological switches, tuning gene expression in ways that optimize repair, resilience, and longevity. This field, known as epigenetics, examines how molecules and lifestyle factors influence which genes are turned on or off without altering the underlying DNA sequence. Researchers like Dr. Randy Jertle and Dr. Moshe Sef have demonstrated how nutrients such as folate, vitamin B12, vitamin D, and polyphenols can directly modify epigenetic markers. In essence, these vitamins speak to the molecular control panels of our cells, signaling which repair pathways to activate and which stress responses to moderate. Consider a practical analogy. Your DNA is a grand orchestra. Some instruments play beautifully, others are silent, and some are overactive. Vitamins are like master conductors, bringing harmony, balance, and rhythm to the symphony. Folate and B12, for instance, are critical for methylation reactions, chemical modifications that regulate gene activity. When these processes are optimized, cells prioritize repair, maintain structural proteins, and resist the damage that accelerates visible aging. But the influence of nutrients extends beyond repair. Vitamin C, for example, participates in demethylation reactions that unlock certain longevity pathways, while vitamin D acts on nuclear receptors that guide gene expression in skin, immune cells, and even muscle. In practical terms, the nutrients we provide to our bodies are not passive fuel. They are instructions guiding our biology toward resilience and vitality. How can this knowledge be applied in daily life? First, diversity matters. No single vitamin can act alone. Epigenetic health relies on a symphony of cofactors. A diet rich in leafy greens, colorful vegetables, nuts, seeds, and moderate fish intake ensures a steady supply of these molecular signals. Supplementation can complement this, especially for vitamins like B12, which is notoriously difficult to absorb in later life. Timing and consistency reinforce the signal. Daily intake supports ongoing gene regulation, rather than sporadic bursts that the body cannot integrate efficiently. Reflect for a moment. Every choice you make, the foods you eat, the vitamins you supplement, the stress you manage, is a signal to your genes. Are you telling them to conserve energy at the expense of repair, or are you signaling resilience, vitality, and long-term function? The answer lies in deliberate, consistent actions. This also introduces a powerful principle. Small molecular interventions can have amplified effects over time. By consistently supplying the nutrients that act as epigenetic switches, we are effectively training our cells to favor repair and regeneration over decline. Over weeks and months, this translates into firmer skin, better energy, and a subtle but measurable increase in the body's natural resilience. Here's a reflective question for you. If your cells could hear your intentions, what message would you send? Would it be one of neglect, leaving repair pathways dormant, or one of empowerment, fueling the body's natural capacity for renewal? By choosing vitamins and nutrients that support epigenetic regulation, you are not merely taking supplements, you are actively participating in the orchestra of your own biology. If this insight resonates, take a moment now to subscribe and join our journey. Together, we explore how small, intentional interventions ripple through your biology to transform not just appearance, but energy, resilience, and the experience of life itself. Imagine a library, its shelves filled with thousands of meticulously cataloged books. Now imagine a sudden storm wind gusts through the windows, raindrops blur the ink, and pages begin to fray. This is what oxidative stress does to our cells. Every day, reactive molecules, free radicals, threaten the integrity of DNA, proteins, and lipids, subtly rewriting the story of our biology. Left unchecked, this molecular erosion accelerates aging, diminishes energy, and compromises the very structures that maintain a youthful appearance. Here's the hopeful insight. Our bodies are not defenseless. Antioxidants, many of which are derived from vitamins and other nutrients, act as archivists, meticulously preserving the integrity of our cellular library. Vitamin C, which we explored earlier, is a key guardian, neutralizing free radicals before they damage critical molecules. Vitamin E, another potent antioxidant, protects lipid membranes, maintaining the fluidity and function of cell walls. Together, these molecules do not merely prevent damage, they actively preserve cellular identity, ensuring that each cell continues to perform its unique role in the orchestra of the body. Research from Dr. Elizabeth Blackburn, Nobel laureate for her work on telomeres, underscores the link between oxidative stress and accelerated cellular aging. Telomeres, the protective caps on chromosomes, shorten more rapidly under oxidative assault, signaling cells to enter senescence. By supporting the body with antioxidants, we reduce the rate of this erosion, giving cells a chance to maintain function and vitality for longer. Practical application begins with diet. Colorful fruits and vegetables, berries, leafy greens, tomatoes, and bell peppers provide a spectrum of antioxidant molecules that work synergistically. Nuts, seeds, and certain fish deliver lipid-soluble antioxidants like vitamin E, integrating protection directly into cellular membranes. Supplementation can also be valuable when diet alone is insufficient, particularly for individuals in midlife or older whose endogenous antioxidant production may decline. Let's pause to consider energy and resilience. Oxidative stress is not always harmful mild. Intermittent stress can actually signal cells to adapt and strengthen, a principle known as hormesis. However, chronic, unmitigated stress tips the balance toward damage. Vitamins act as modulators, allowing cells to experience beneficial stress while guarding against cumulative harm. Imagine walking a tightrope. Antioxidants are the balancing pole that keeps you upright while still allowing for movement and growth. Here's a practical framework. Pair antioxidant-rich foods with stress management habits such as mindfulness, gentle movement, or restorative sleep. Together, they create a cellular environment that favors repair and longevity. For example, a mid-afternoon handful of almonds with a cup of green tea not only delivers antioxidants, but also supports energy and focus, counteracting the fatigue often caused by oxidative stress. Reflect for a moment. How often do we consider the hidden stress on our cells? Just as a librarian protects every book from smudging, we can actively shield our biology from molecular damage. Each meal, each supplement, each restorative habit is a choice to preserve identity, resilience, and youthfulness at the cellular level. If this insight is resonating, take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe. By joining this community, you participate in a movement that views aging not as inevitability, but as a process we can influence, protecting and nurturing our cells with intention and knowledge. We often think of repair and rejuvenation as processes we can only influence during the day through diet, exercise, or supplements. Yet some of the most profound transformations in our bodies occur when we sleep. Our cells operate on circadian rhythms, intrinsic cycles that orchestrate repair, detoxification, and regeneration. And nutrients, when timed correctly, act like conductors guiding this nocturnal symphony. Consider the skin, our largest organ. During sleep, keratinocytes proliferate, collagen synthesis peaks, and cellular debris is cleared more efficiently. Research from Dr. Gang Wang at Northwestern University and findings published in Cell Metabolism reveal that antioxidant enzymes, DNA repair proteins, and energy metabolism are all under circadian control. Providing nutrients in alignment with these rhythms can amplify repair. For example, taking vitamin C or a B complex in the evening or applying topical vitamin C before bedtime can coincide with the peak activity of repair pathways, enhancing collagen synthesis and antioxidant protection precisely when the body is most receptive. The metaphor here is simple yet vivid. Imagine a garden that thrives not just because it has water and nutrients, but because these are delivered at the optimal times: dawn for photosynthesis, dusk for repair. Our cells, like plants, respond to timing as much as to substance. When nutrients arrive in harmony with circadian cycles, repair is optimized, resilience increases, and even energy metabolism is more efficient the following day. But timing alone is not sufficient. Sleep quality, light exposure, and consistent daily routines interact with nutrient intake to create a full spectrum environment for renewal. Studies show that even mild circadian disruption, irregular bedtimes, late night screen exposure, or inconsistent meals can impair mitochondrial function, reduce collagen synthesis, and increase markers of inflammation. In other words, the signals your body receives are integrally tied to the timing of both nutrients and lifestyle patterns. How can we apply this practically? First, establish a consistent sleep schedule, aiming for 7 to 8 hours of restorative sleep. Align evening nutrition with circadian rhythms. A nutrient-rich dinner including leafy greens, legumes, and lean protein provides substrates for overnight repair, while targeted supplementation such as magnesium, vitamin D, or vitamin C can reinforce enzymatic repair processes. Topical antioxidants applied at night support the skin directly, amplifying molecular signals that guide tissue regeneration. Consider this reflection. Our bodies are not passive containers of time. They are dynamic systems capable of remarkable renewal. By aligning nutrient intake with circadian biology, we are not simply supplementing, we are conversing with our cells, offering them cues to repair, regenerate, and maintain their architecture. The visible result may be firmer skin, smoother contours, and a brighter, more rested appearance, but the deeper effect is systemic. Improved energy metabolism, immune modulation, and cellular resilience. Ask yourself, how often do we honor the rhythm of our own biology? How often do we consider the timing of nutrients, not just their quantity or type? By integrating circadian wisdom into daily routines, we transform supplementation from a static act into a dynamic, life-aligned strategy. If this insight resonates, take a moment now to like this video and share your thoughts. Subscribing ensures you continue to receive evidence-based strategies that align biology, behavior, and time, supporting not just appearance, but vitality, resilience, and the profound potential of your own cells. As we bring this journey to a close, let us return to the sculpture, that image of time-worn edges and surfaces waiting to be restored. Aging is often presented as a linear, unstoppable process, but what we have explored together paints a far more hopeful picture. Aging, in many respects, is a dialogue between our biology and the signals we provide it. Vitamins are not mere supplements. They are messengers, instruments, and conductors guiding this dialogue, helping our cells maintain structure, energy, and resilience. Vitamin C teaches us to restore the scaffolding of our tissues, smoothing rough edges and reinforcing the architecture of skin and connective tissue. B vitamins illuminate our inner engines, fueling mitochondria so energy flows reliably, sustaining vitality and focus throughout the day. Vitamin D steps in as a quiet sculptor, modulating inflammation, stabilizing immune responses, and allowing repair to proceed undisturbed. Beyond this, nutrients act as epigenetic switches, guiding gene expression toward repair, resilience, and longevity. A reminder that our biology responds dynamically to the cues we provide. Antioxidants protect cellular identity, preserving the delicate molecules that encode our history, our energy, and our function. They act as archivists in the library of life, defending against the silent erosion of oxidative stress. Finally, when we align nutrient intake with circadian rhythms, we enter into a sophisticated conversation with our cells, timing signals to coincide with the natural cycles of repair and regeneration that occur during sleep. Consider for a moment the broader horizon, a life in which our cells operate optimally, where energy is reliable, repair is ongoing, and the visible signs of aging reflect resilience rather than loss. This is not science fiction, it is emerging science. You now carry a blueprint, 6 interconnected pathways to support your biology in a manner that is practical, precise, and profoundly human. If this message resonates, I invite you to like this video, subscribe, and share your insights in the comments. Tell us where you are joining from and what small action you will take today to send a message of vitality to your cells. Together, we form a community committed to evidence-based wellness, aging with intention, and unlocking the latent potential within each of us.